And for the AFEX Commodities Market Update, now let's get a summary of performance at the exchange for the week ended. It was a mixed performance across key indicators. So turnover increased by 2.05% from 2.03 billion naira to 4.17 billion naira. We also saw an increase of 2.21% in the volume of contracts traded. There was a decrease in the number of deals traded by 27.93%, closing at 129, a decrease of 1.367% in the AFEX Commodity Index, closing the week at 471.99 index points. The AFEX Export Index saw a positive trend from 224.04 points to 225.48 points. For the volume of contracts traded, saw an increased volume across maize, soybean, ginger, and cashew. For price movement now across the export commodities, there was positive trend with sesame topping the chart by 10.58% to close at 1,150 naira. Cashew nut, that increased by 6.02% and closing at 649 naira 88 kobo per kilogram. Ginger, that's rose by 3.66% and closed at 923 naira 93 kobo per kilogram. Paddy rice, that grew by 0.6%, closed at 316 naira 2 kobo per kilogram, while cocoa remained the same. Across grain commodities, we saw maize that declined by 7.95% to close at 229 naira 19 kobo per kilogram. And now, taking the conversation forward, the role of data cannot be overemphasized as gaps in information prevent efficient tackling of food insecurity. As millions are invested in agriculture without accurate and reliable information, this leads to losses in productivity and income. Let's take a look at the role of data in farming now. Joining me is Commodities Sumaila, Head Business Intelligence at AFEX. Great to have you on the show.
Thank you, Ladi. Good morning.
Good morning. So innovation and technology within the agricultural sector, have provided reliable agricultural data systems. What direct role would you say data plays in creating a more inclusive food system?
So what data does, in essence, is reveal the intricacies of the subject matter being observed. What that does is the peculiarities can be taken by policymakers and other institutions to create solutions that are basically targeted to different segments in the economy or in different areas of the country. And this prevents them from taking blanket approaches to solving problems and leaving some people unattended or unimpacted. A more relatable example of the role of data can be seen in traceability and sustainability as a whole. Here, data creates a sort of trust economy because your final consumers want to understand the quality of what they are consuming, its origins, the conditions under which it was produced, the farmer who produced it, what's his financial status. All of this comes together to create a transparent area where what you have is people basically conforming, all the players in the value chain conforming to these set standards and making sure that they adopt best practices to improve quality of whatever products are getting to your table. And at the end of the day, food security is ensured.
And talking about, promoting inclusivity in the food system, what other challenges still need to be overcome in that area?
So a major challenge is around data silos. So think of an organization like AFEX trying to see which farmers have the most potential to grow or to do more. You are trying to combat that or to solve for that. You are trying to get data around their creditworthiness, and to estimate someone's creditworthiness or create a credit score for them, you typically need to observe their financial data. And financial information is usually spread across different organizations, different entities. So getting access to that is one key problem.
And smallholder farmers are the heart of, agriculture in the continent. Are these innovations tailored, to their specific needs?
Certainly, most of the work we do is with the smallholder farmer in mind. So I was going to talk on precision agriculture as an innovation, but not even getting to something that complex. Something much more simple is giving farmers solutions that make them more able to manage their crop management strategies, from irrigation to input application, and even the entire growing cycle. So think about giving them weather forecasts that allows them plan their entire growing cycle, forecasts that are long enough, and then market pricing, market information that lets them know, should I store today or should I sell my commodities and get the best out of the market.
And I'm sure everyone has a part to play in all of this for the stakeholders. But what can individuals and organizations do to support development of a more inclusive, food system? And how can data be used to inform, and guide these efforts?
Certainly, everyone has a very important role to play. And leveraging on my first response around policy making. So there can be government policies that sort of increase food production and create a market that drives internal consumption. And this can be tailored to specific segments, like I mentioned, when you are able to observe the peculiarities of those areas. Secondly, for organizations like AFEX, it's very good to what we are trying to do is improve our climate smart services to farmers that is able to give them longer forecasts so that they're able to plan their growing. And lastly, I think I would say research institutions. They can benefit from using data by observing weather patterns, trends, and soil nutrients, observe the soil nutrients in every area to create sort of crop resistant or disease resistant policies and procedures that helps farmers to grow better and improve their yield at the end of the day.
And definitely, it's been a challenging first quarter, and I'm sure that agriculture industry has have their challenges at this point. But what are you seeing for the second quarter? Talking about profitability and yields.
Certainly. So what you have currently is basically there are many factors to consider, and that's where data comes in, right? If you're able to study and make projections of how much yield, compare last year to this year, compare the market intricacies that are happening today, and see what our price is looking like, what are external factors to consider. So all of these come together to make all the stakeholders come to whatever decision that is necessary.
All right, thank you so much, Commodities, Head Business Intelligence at AFEX. Thank you.
Thank you, Ladi.
All right, we'll take a moment now.
Going to the studio.